For the past 200 years, a specific story has been shared with you. It's an organized, chronological account, beginning with our primate forebears, progressing through earlier human types, and culminating in your present-day reality. This grand depiction is commonly referred to as human evolution. But imagine, just for a moment, if this entire presentation were a mere invention, a carefully constructed tale that purposefully left out the opening acts of our saga. What if the voids in our understanding of history aren't simply ancient relics concealed beneath the soil, but entire human civilizations erased from the planet's collective consciousness? In his deepest meditative states, Edgar Cayce didn't exclusively foresee future events. Rather, he accessed the Earth's long-lost records. Within these ancient scrolls, he discovered the full original account of mankind's genesis. This is a story that existed long before the narrative of Adam. It begins with three separate branches of humanity. These ancient peoples wielded extraordinary power, their origins extending beyond the confines of our world. This evening, we are not here to challenge a previously acknowledged cinematic work. Instead, our aim is to reveal the genuine, expanded vision, much like a director's extended version. We are on the verge of uncovering profound knowledge held within the newly opened Starseed records, identifying three primeval human lines that inhabited this planet countless ages prior to our era, and elucidating the profound spiritual cause behind the erosion of their shared remembrance. The fundamental story of your own being stands ready for a deep and meaningful reconsideration. It is crucial for each of you to discern which particular segment of this vast tale resonates most intimately with your inner self. To genuinely grasp our current identity, we must first face and grasp what has been intentionally hidden from our shared awareness. The prevailing scientific explanation of humanity's past in its current form clearly displays a significant and undeniable oversight. We currently observe monumental ancient constructions that elude modern understanding, rapid and unexpected leaps in human genetics that bewilder scientists, and widespread global narratives depicting celestial entities, which we often disregard as simple fantasy. This state of affairs, as was unveiled to Edgar Cayce, does not indicate a defect within the scientific method itself. Instead, it is the direct result of a profound planetary forgetfulness, a complete wipe of collective memory that transpired in the wake of a succession of immense global catastrophes. Furthermore, documents from EOSIC illuminate that humanity's existence on Earth is not a singular, continuous advancement, but rather a series of catastrophic renewals. Following each major reinitialization, the surviving members of humanity reverted to a rudimentary way of life, their recollections of prior epochs gradually diminishing, preserved exclusively within age-old stories and hallowed writings. The commonly understood account of Adam doesn't chronicle the genesis of humankind. Instead, it marks the commencement of our present era, our current lineage, referred to by the Cayce material as the fifth. This revelation naturally leads to a question. What was the nature of the four that came before? From a higher level of awareness, the message was clear. We exist as the fifth iteration within a grand cosmic undertaking. The initial three groups were not what we would recognize as completely human forms. They functioned as the primordial starseeds, the fundamental design, the very first models. Gaining insight into these earlier manifestations provides the crucial understanding needed to access the intrinsic potentials and hidden dangers woven deep into our DNA. Discovering this starseed legacy relies heavily on a central idea presented in the Cayce texts: the Earth as a grand experimental space. The higher consciousness consistently described our solar system, and specifically Earth, as a unique energetic region designed with a sole objective: for spiritual beings to engage with and master the physical realm. It serves as an academy, a setting for spiritual challenges. A specific understanding shed light on the initial process. In their origin, spirits manifested as pure thought, formed completely from unadulterated energy. Though they could traverse the vast cosmos, these beings eventually became entangled within the lower vibrations of the material realms, finding themselves bound to the pleasures and tangibility of corporeal life. Our world came into existence specifically to facilitate their liberation. Therefore, the human form was not simply an unforeseen biological development. Rather, it embodied a biologically designed container, fashioned with divine intent, meant to hold these trapped spirits and empower them to overcome their spiritual trials. However, its initial design did not reach its ultimate perfection right away. Instead, it progressed through a developing sequence, as varied forms or ancestral lines were slowly unveiled over vast stretches of time. Every distinct ancestral line offered a singular approach to housing a multidimensional soul within a corporeal vessel. The initial three archetypes were notably the most unconventional, the most powerful, and concurrently the most volatile. These are known as the vanished starseed bloodlines. This insight emerges from numerous historical records and interpretations, which collectively portray a long-forgotten epoch. The primary lineage, referred to as the Polarian people, consisted of entities fashioned purely from thought. According to the Cayce archives, humanity's earliest manifestation possessed no physical substance at all. They existed as transcendent, vapor-like beings, simple expressions of consciousness, capable of effortlessly reshaping their form and composition. These historical accounts identify them as the Polarians, present during a period when Earth itself was still in its stages of creation and cooling. An ancient narrative explained that their initial manifestations were pure concepts, possessing the ability to project themselves into any configuration they desired. While they served as the primordial architects, they struggled with an absence of clear concentration. Their existence was like gossamer visions drifting across the surface of the deep. Their ultimate transformation involved a gradual increase in their density. Their absorption with the physical realm grew so compelling that their very consciousness began to solidify, binding them to increasingly robust vibrations until they completely lost the capacity to shift their forms. Thus, they became the inaugural souls to be truly anchored to the terrestrial dimension. Then came the second lineage, the Hyperborean beings, known as the Radiant Ones. This subsequent civilization, the Hyperboreans, represented a significant developmental stride. They retained an ethereal quality, yet possessed a more definitive outline, characterized as pure, glistening golden white light. Their lives unfolded upon a northern polar landmass, during a time when Earth's climatic conditions were vastly different. Ancient records indicate this second race was composed mostly of light, with a method of procreation entirely unlike that of current creatures. They generated new life by emanating fragments of their brilliant essence. They served as profound healers and guardians of the planet's vibrational harmony. Their eventual decline stemmed from a transgression of spiritual arrogance. They began to perceive themselves as divine, distinct from the prime creator. They commenced experimenting with their inherent capacity to manipulate life forms, a venture that introduced the planet's first karmic imbalances. This gradual spiritual deterioration caused their luminous forms to dim and grow more substantial. The third race, known as the Lemurian lineage, ushered in the first true physicality. Among the bygone peoples, this third branch, known as the Lemurians, stands out as the most renowned. They embodied the earliest authentic human physique, though remarkably unlike our current form. Historical accounts portray them as towering beings, possessing both masculine and feminine aspects, and graced with a potent third eye. This ocular ability allowed for seamless mental dialogue and an innate grasp of the natural world's principles. The higher awareness conveyed, the Lemurians maintained a deep bond with the earth. They conversed with creatures and flora. Their mastery over the elements came not from technological advancements, but from the power of their awareness, their concentrated will. They were the grand architects, the primeval spiritual guides. Their advanced society thrived upon an expansive landmass in the Pacific, referred to as Moon. Their eventual decline progressed slowly, a poignant progression as the planet's vibrational frequency steadily lowered. The Lemurian populace began to divide into two separate sexes. From this, a distinctive interplay of yearning and separation arose, drawing their shared awareness deeper into the sphere of individual identity. Their inner sight, once radiant, commenced a gradual dimming. A slow detachment from their inherent connection to the natural world began to take hold. The ultimate disaster, which witnessed their vast continent vanish beneath the water, was simply the outward manifestation of this profound, inner spiritual divide. These were the three forgotten ancestries, the forms of pure intellect, the luminous beings, and the very first physical embodiments. They stand as our distant, unremembered predecessors. These were the initial cosmic seeds, their triumphs and trials imprinted as a karmic template within the fundamental structure of our genetic blueprint. Their removal from the chronicles of our common past was not a mere coincidence. Instead, it served as an indispensable element of a magnificent universal reordering. The higher consciousness indicated that the actions of the initial three civilizations, specifically the Hyperboreans' overconfidence in spiritual matters and the Lemurians' descent into fragmentation, had generated significant karmic disharmonies within the planet's energetic framework. For the soul's evolutionary path to continue, a profound realignment was considered necessary. The subsequent civilization, known as the Atlanteans, forming the fourth lineage, embodied a fresh design, a renewed commitment to foster perfect balance between the spiritual and earthly dimensions. Our current society, the fifth lineage, continues the inheritance of all these previous undertakings. The shared remembrance was deliberately erased for two crucial reasons. Primarily, to grant our current lineage a pristine starting point, a chance to comprehend the tenets of free will, unencumbered by the immense powers and calamitous errors of our predecessors. Moreover, a principle of immense gravity involves the notion of karmic consequence. Insights suggest that if our current civilization were to rediscover and misuse the ancient people's capabilities, without first acquiring the spiritual understanding to guide them, we could inadvertently set in motion the very catastrophic design that ultimately led to their collapse. Indeed, our modern focus on artificial intelligence, virtual realms, conscious projections, the advancement of human form, interactions with glowing presences, and the modification of life's blueprints creates a profound resonance with the exact roots that brought about the decline of the initial three peoples. Therefore, this collective amnesia has functioned as a form of planetary quarantine, an essential protective mechanism. Yet, as a deep awakening gains momentum, that safeguarding veil is gradually receding. The forgotten histories are now being brought back to light, and we are slowly beginning to recall. Thus, the Starseed dossier is now brought into view. You now grasp that your lineage extends far beyond what you were previously told, encompassing a depth and cosmic breadth you are only beginning to comprehend. How will you integrate this significant insight into your understanding? This isn't merely a recounting of past events. Rather, it serves as a powerful trigger for awakening. The core spirit of these ancient bloodlines isn't simply a historical artifact. Instead, it resides in a dormant state within the very fabric of your existence. Your DNA itself acts as a living record, containing the intricate genetic patterns of every culture and era that came before you. This current period signifies a crucial time for this genetic reawakening to unfold. A surge of cosmic forces is now commencing a recalibration of these slumbering genetic directives. The superconscious realm has kindly provided a three-part framework for consciously participating in this evolving shift. The initial step encourages us to acknowledge the presence of the Polarians, recognized as the prime originators. Grasp that your thoughts are not random occurrences or fleeting notions. Indeed, they represent potent energies capable of manifestation. The Polarian spirit within you holds the deep potential for bringing things into being effortlessly. Your aim is to move beyond mere imagination and evolve into a focused, intentional maker. This transformation is achieved by mastering the environment of your own mind. Essential tools for this journey include meditation, vivid visualization, and purposeful thought. It's crucial to develop the skill of building with your thoughts, instead of just letting them wander without direction. The second principle invites you to recognize the Hyperborean consciousness, which is the innate healer. Realize that your fundamental nature is made of radiant light and subtle vibrations. This Hyperborean essence inside you possesses the power to restore well-being, both for yourself and for those around you. Your quest involves cleansing your physical form. This entails purifying your physical being, your feelings, and your energetic aura. The means to achieve this are a wholesome diet, practices for emotional liberation, and communing with the natural world. It is essential to become a clear conduit for light, not a dense vessel for past burdens. The third guideline advises you to recognize the Lemurian, your inner shaman. Acknowledge the deep, inborn intuitive bond you share with the planet and every form of life. This Lemurian essence residing within you constitutes your inherent psychic and shamanic capability. Your purpose involves reactivating your inner vision, your intuitive sense. This awakening is achieved through moments of stillness by heeding the subtle promptings of your heart and by trusting your deepest instincts above the clamor of the outside world. It is crucial to recall how to communicate through energetic frequencies, not merely through spoken words. This comprehensive three-step framework serves as your individual guide for growth and transformation. This path requires consciously embracing the intrinsic capabilities stemming from your ancient universal lineage. Although it is natural to experience a profound sense of significance when encountering these ideas, understand that your affiliation is not by chance. If these notions deeply echo within your spirit, it is purely because they articulate your innermost authenticity. Your spirit likely holds a deep ancestral resonance from one of these ancient lines. Truly, you are a cosmic seed, an old soul. Your presence at this critical time functions as a living genetic connection, positioning you among the pioneers who will gently awaken these dormant blueprints and establish a renewed, holistic human framework for generations to come. That persistent feeling of not quite belonging in this world is in reality not a weakness. Rather, it serves as an insightful signal, a soft inner whisper indicating that you remember a different way of existing. Your true calling is not to depart from this earthly realm, but instead to tenderly transform it through your own profound internal evolution. You stand as living evidence that our shared human story extends far beyond what conventional histories recount. You are, in essence, the revealed chronicle. Your initial, gentle movement is simply to acknowledge your authentic roots and embrace the distinctive purpose that awaits your unfolding. In this quiet space, a welcoming convergence awaits those who serve as starseed conduits on Earth. Kindly identify the primal energy that resonates most profoundly within your being. Begin your contribution with a specific phrase that confirms your aware involvement in this significant recollection. Blueprint activated. Afterward, articulate your individual vibrational connection. Examples include: blueprint activated, I sense the tender invitation of Lemuria. Or, blueprint activated, a profound Hyperborean restorative force awakens within. Or simply, blueprint activated, my presence here is for remembrance. Together, we shall reveal the kindred spirits from the forgotten lineages. This deeply significant journey gently commences at this moment.